Is it okay like this? You hear
Perfect.
you
I can
hear
hear you
me
now.
well? Okay, perfect. Uh-huh.
How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm here in Merida, Yucatan, where I live. I've been living here for 4 years. I've been living in Mexico for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. My wife wants me to, that's where she wants to go next. She went with her siblings years ago, but I've never been.
I know. Oh.
So,
But
we'll get right to the music and the questions. Thank you very much for taking your time here. I was quite surprised when I did a bunch of research to find out, first of all, that Living in Radio was so huge everywhere, but not on Canadian charts. And released twice. Can you tell me a bit about how that song was big in '83 and then big again in '85?
yeah, well, it was released in '83, basically in Canada. And, it did somewhat. It was first released in French, the French version in Quebec, and then I asked the record company, hey, I want to do an English version, so they let me do that, do an English version. But the first single was only released in French because
Yeah.
they thought it was more of an act, more like a synth pop group in French. But the French version just happened in Quebec. It never happened in France, and it's the English version that happened. Well, it took a while and it started actually. It took about a year to chart in the Netherlands. This is the first place in Europe where it charted in 1984, and then it charted in July of 1984 in Germany and most of the countries in Europe. And then a year after, in 1985, it charted in England. And a year after, in 1986, it charted in the United States. It was top 10 in Los Angeles. And this is when I relocated to Los Angeles.
Yeah, what's fascinating is how it charted top two and three and four and 10 in Britain. Like I've never seen a song kind of slowly make its way around the world in all my research. What do you think is the reason that wherever it got played, it eventually became big? Like what do you think makes it connect? Because it's still huge today.
Yeah, but it was slow to make it in charts in different countries because the sound was very different than what people were expecting. I'm sorry, my cat is bugging me now.
Oh, cute. What's the cat's name?
uh, Bagheera,
Oh,
a little panther.
nice.
Yeah, yes.
So, like, it's a really huge dance song, and you're right. Like in '83, I lived in Western Canada, and that music wasn't being played when I was young. I first heard that song in the dance clubs probably in the early '90s, and uh, and then when I was doing research for my book, which is about all songs that made Canadian charts, and then songs that should have made them and didn't. And out of all the songs I've researched, yours is the biggest hit that did not in the world that's Canadian that didn't do that well in Canada, which I find fascinating.
I know, but it's because I was, with a label that's linked to the Italian mafia, So
Oh,
also people in Quebec, they didn't want any to have anything to do with me. I was on the same label as the Lime. Remember
hmm,
the disco band, the Lime? And I don't know, for some reason, since I was not with the people, the same people in Quebec, but they basically didn't really promote my song. And but my where we sold most record is in Calgary, and the second
hmm.
place was Toronto. Montreal was the third place, So it was mostly a West Coast phenomenon, and all my fans in the United States are in the West Coast. It didn't
Hmm.
do that well well, it did that good in many places, but mostly in California and Texas, where usually with my fan base there, and they're more like Latin people.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
surprising when it did well in like Florida and stuff, really.
no, it didn't do well. Florida is in the East Coast. It's a different sound than the West Coast in the United States. It's strange enough, but that's the way it is. But I was popular also very big in Germany and in the south of Brazil. But south of Brazil is populated by people who immigrated from Germany and in Italy.
Hmm.
This is where my wife is from she's from the southern Brazil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's funny because yeah, your song chart, its highest charting was Switzerland of all places, though at least according to Wikipedia. But like you were top 10 all over the country and or the country, the world. Um, how did that take on once you got that song going? How did that lead you to other opportunities?
Yeah, but the thing, I must tell you that I was not prepared for this because, I was mainly a studio keyboard player and I did soundtrack music for films. I did soundtracks, atmospheric music like Tangerine Dream, a little bit of
Hmm.
Pink Floyd, and so I was not prepared to be a front man. So I went to take up some ballet jazz classes, some singing classes, and everything, but I was not prepared for that. So it took me some years to get into that shape. So I was not able to get another hit right away and to perform well. It's
Yeah, I mean, live that type of music live is probably harder to perform than like a rock song, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, because yeah, I had to play with a backing track because there was no it was complicated to hook up a bunch of synthesizers and the day I was doing mostly like in playing discos, what was referred to as track dates. So
Hmm.
in the middle of a DJ performance, the act, well, they were just given a microphone, and then you had to perform like three songs, no more than three songs. You were on stage for no more than 12 minutes.
Oh wow.
And that was the deal at the time. Yes. So I never really right now I have a full band with my wife. She plays electric guitar and we play live. We're actually one of the few bands that play this kind of synth pop music live. We've played last place we've played in Camden City in London, and it was fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome to see live. I was watching right before you came on. I came on here. I was watching the Russia performance from
Uh,
2007, maybe, and that looked like a lot of fun to be at such a show.
yeah, but now I play instruments live. I play electric guitar also. I play mainly my guitar. And we sing live, and we have somebody who plays bass also. The drums are pre-recorded, but it's a live experience. So I moved away from the track date thing, singing. Except sometimes they ask me to just go on stage and sing two songs, sing a big
Right.
event because that's what they do now. That it's a big DJ event, and they bring the artist. Here's the artist, and there you sing your hit song, another song, and they're off out of the stage. So it's mostly like a promo thing. But what I like to do is sometimes they hire me, and we have to. We've played in Oaxaca, Mexico, a big event. We've played for an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, yes. So it's
And
a
is it all your is all stuff from your I see you've had a few albums out in the last few years, and I see you are often working with other musicians. Like there's a song I was listening to called One Last Dance from a couple years ago, which was a fun EDM track.
Oh yes, I don't perform that track. I was just like an invited performer for that song. But yeah, I collaborated with a number of people. I've with Tobias Benstrup also, which is performing. He's out of Stockholm, Sweden. I've played a lot in Sweden, maybe like 7 times. You know, in Sweden they love to live shows. Yeah, they're just like England. You know, they love to see live performances. In other places, you know, like Spain, I've lived in Spain for 7 years, but it's DJ territory.
Mm.
It, it's a you know it's a playa and Ibiza. You know, it's a different vibe. But in Northern Europe, it's where they like to see live acts.
Which makes sense. For me, it's a better show. I guess I like dance music, but a live show is always just more raw and real.
Uh-huh. And in
So,
Canada, I've played the last place I've played was a festival. I played with a festival in Calgary. It was for the athletes for the Olympics who
oh,
it was an event I played, and I saw my old schoolmate there who played there, Ivan from the Men Without Hats.
oh, nice.
We
Yeah, they
went
have
to
a new album coming out too.
Yes, we went to the same school in Montreal. It's strangely enough. Huh?
That is strange because you guys both have a similar. You're both fit in a similar style of like that really
Yeah,
great
then
music.
in the summer of 1984, we were two bands from Montreal, and we performed on the same TV show in Germany.
Oh, really?
That was strange enough, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you made your music videos were really fun in the 80s. And it's interesting you mentioned that you were originally like a keyboardist and, not a performer. Because both those videos have you, in the studio and mixing music. But then have those fun little clips of you performing and the female vocalist going. Was it fun or a struggle making those videos back in those early 80 days for like living on radio and message on or living on video and
Uh,
message on radio?
well, Message on Radio was filmed in Toronto, Canada. It was pretty cold that day, and they filmed the girl outside, and then they filmed me inside like a radio station. So it was done like in one evening. That video clip. They had the video clip for Living on Video. It was not a video clip. It was a TV show in Germany.
Hmm.
It was filmed at the Bavarian Film Studio in Munich.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the record company, they didn't want to spend money doing a video, so they just purchased the rights of that TV show and just grabbed that video. That's all.
Oh, wow.
Was something that was done like maybe twice, you know. It was live. There was no there was live editing. It was TV editing. You know?
Oh, really? I have to watch that closer because I didn't know. It felt like a pretty well made video, quite frankly. I mean, for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time, especially.
yeah, but there was no editing. It was like three cameras and it was live editing like they used to do on TV, you know? Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's something I didn't even remotely recognize. So what I also mentioned when I sent the questions is the your strong. Wait, I love what you're writing. Besides the amazing beats that just you have to dance to, is your ability to write verses where you're the lead, and then a chorus where you mix your vocals with a female vocalist. I know you've rotated females over time, but was that on purpose to have that gender style piece in the
Yeah, yes,
choruses?
I like to change vocals for me and then the girl that sings. And now it's my wife that sings with me.
Well, that's
But
awesome.
I have had like maybe like 12 girls over the span of my career who sang with me. The one who sings with me on the TV the show in Russia. She's actually from Barcelona, Spain. But I lived in Spain for 7 years back in the 90s. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so when you how do you find a female vocalist to that works for that style? Because it's such a unique style, especially like in the 80s. I know there's one girl sang on the album and somebody else was in the videos originally and when you started performing. But was it hard to find somebody because your style was you were ahead of your time? It's one of the common things when I read articles online. Your music was ahead of time, which I think is why it charted for 3 years or almost 4 years, as people
Yeah,
found it like, oh, this is cool.
yeah, and it's still current these days. People still play it a lot. I'm surprised, but the sound I think I did a pretty unique sound, and I had a unique approach to synthesizers. Because a lot of that Italo people they just use like basic sounds, but I like to fiddle around and to get my own synthesizer sounds. That doesn't sound like anybody else.
Well, I think like when I go back to looking at 83 and 84, that's the time period I'm writing about right now. There's no song like your songs. There's nothing like it in Canada. And I think you were way ahead of the time for Canada. Canada's always a few years behind in music, it feels like. I mean, even the British synth in the 80s did better in America than it did in Canada. Um, so I think you might have been ahead of the time. Let's jump ahead a little bit to the song Maria. It's a song that I just loved when I first. It's a song I hadn't heard till I looked it up, and it felt like your style, but with a little bit of a pop that should have been huge in '88 on the radio. It just had that feel of the time.
I know, but I didn't write the music to that song. I wrote the lyrics,
Mm.
and I was not in very good terms with the record company, and they didn't really want to promote that album. They were just and I said, okay, well, the hell with it. I'm not going to promote it if you're not going to promote it. So I'm going to move to Los Angeles and because my song is top 10 on the radio, and so this is where I have to go. So it was a missed opportunity there.
That seems to be a common trend of people I've talked to for this book that the labels often didn't promote the artist at the right time. I've seen it with everybody from Randy Bachman, who was big in the '70s, to so many other bands that you need that studio label to push it and get a video made and so forth at this time frame. And with your big hit on the radio, I can't believe they wouldn't have wanted to push more work when Living Radio was doing
Uh,
video.
that's a label that they were releasing 12-inch dance music. They were not interested in promoting a band. They said, "Oh, it's too costly to do that. We just want to make money and just pour out some dance records like they did with Lime." That's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to promote a band like it was a rock band. It was a different approach, like the discardable artist, dance music artist.
Well, that's too bad because yeah, when you talk about Lime, I've listened to some Lime songs because I've written about a couple of those from the early '80s, and I mean there is some resemblance in their sound when you go, but you took it to a whole new level. So I guess the next question was, is there anything that you're looking forward to now? Like, what are you doing in 2025?
Ah, oh, I'm doing a lot of things. But here with my partners, we purchased like 125 robotic lights controlled by computer, and we have a sound system more for 10,000 people, and we're selling. We go basically in Mexico. We're selling for the fiesta for pueblos for the city. When the city they have an event, a 3-day event. Now we go there. We put the first night we put some DJs, and then we put Transx, we can play up to an hour and 40 minutes. And also, I have another project that's called Rock X. So we do, I do a lot of compositions and also some covers, but mostly rock music.
Well, that'd be fun. I've only heard you. I mean, Maria was the closest thing to kind of a pop rock song that I listened to, but you have a voice that's very unique. And I mean, were you born in Quebec?
No, I was born in Paris, France, but all
Ah,
my rest of my family are from Canada.
yeah.
Just happened to be born there because my father was a correspondent for Radio Canada there
Hmm.
in Paris. So that's where I was born.
Interesting. Because what I like, another thing what I like about your music is that your voice is also unlike anybody else's, right? And in dance music, one of the things I find flawed is often the songs sound the same. And
Yeah.
you have a tone that is really unique in dance, and that's why I'd be really curious to hear it in a rock song. That fascinates me.
Yeah, yes, yeah, that's good. And also, I did other things. I did a project that called, I released an album called Gregorian Waves, where I sing in Latin and Old French.
Oh wow.
So I have I'm not, I'm a very versatile composer. And right now for the rock music, I compose mostly on the guitar. And whereas the dance music, I mostly compose on the keyboard. So it's a different approach.
Interesting. So back to living on video. What made you write that song? Because that's even the lyrics kind of foreshadowed where we were going.
Yeah, yeah, but back in 1981, we were hanging in the same clubs, like with the Men Without Hats and another band from Montreal called Rational Youth.
Hmm.
So we were all hanging out at the same clubs, and that was the time when you had video arcades. These big machines with the tube, and you inserted like 50 cents coins, and then you could play Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and all these video games. So I thought, okay, I'll write a song about living on living with the video. But
Well, that's fun.
maybe I had a vision that everybody now, they are living with YouTube.
Well, isn't that the case?
So maybe I was a visionary a little bit. Yes.
Well, I feel like when you look at the lyrics and the beat, both of those are things like your song. I mean, I read somewhere your song had over 2 million sales, and that was a few years back in 2019 or something. So that song's still making lots of money and getting played everywhere. And I heard it on the radio just a week ago. I was driving
Yeah.
to Calgary from Calgary back home after a trip, and sure enough, it's on the radio. So it
Yeah.
gets I think it's played more in Canada now than it did when it first came out, which is a strange twist.
That is very strange. I would love to go in Canada and perform, but I would need to find a promoter or a booking agent to book me up there, maybe. Because I've played mostly in South America and Europe and in Mexico, and Los Angeles. But now, it's a little complicated to go to the United States right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's
I'm concentrating more here and in Mexico, South America, and Europe for the time being.
what you mentioned earlier about music being like you were more popular in certain areas. What do you think it is that makes your music so popular in Mexico and in Europe and in Brazil and so forth, and not maybe as big in Canada and North America? What do you think that is?
I don't know because Latin people tend to prefer dance music and Italo. Italo it never happened in Canada actually. But I'm never they don't hire me a lot for Italo Disco Festival because Italo Disco never happened because it's Italian who try to sing in English and they have a terrible accent. That's why they never made it in America.
Mhm.
But what was I going to say? But they hire me a lot in gothic clubs.
Hmm.
Strangely enough. So, I'm a crossover artist. I cross over to a lot of different genre of radio stations.
Well, yeah, that makes sense too because I heard you on a 80s 90s station last time I heard it. I know you're still played in clubs, and so that's like those big hits, living on video and message in the radio. They are songs that are kind of timeless, right? Like when I listened to a lot of stuff I liked I started listening to music in '83 probably when I was like 12, and some of the stuff I listened to in '83 I thought was awesome. I go back now and I'm like, what was I thinking? Right? And what makes your songs so powerful is that they sound as fresh in '83, both musically but also lyrically. Like I mean, message on the radio, also just a fun lyric.
Yeah, yeah. So the lyrics of that song, that's the '80s were very fashion destiny. People would dress up, to go to clubs. Now you don't see that as much. Well, sometimes if you go to more fashion clubs where you have drag queens and they dress up. Yeah, we've played the last place we played in London, in Camden Town. It was a drag queen anniversary party, a 15th anniversary. So they hired us, and so the people they were all dressed up, but a lot of places, they just wear jeans and whatever. Back in the '80s, we would dress up, to go to clubs. And so the lyrics for Messenger Radio is about it's a little bit about the nightlife there in the '80s.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I wish I didn't get to go to clubs till like 1990. I always bummed that I didn't get to go in the peak of the '80s because that's where my favorite music genre time frame still to this day is. I like '60s blues as well and stuff like that, and classic rock. But I think I missed out. I was born at the wrong time frame for the music I like
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yes, but me actually, I didn't. I grew up with '70s music. I listened a lot to the Moody Blues, Black Sabbath, all these groups from that era. What Led Zeppelin, uh, uh, what is it called? Purple,
Deep
Deep Purple.
Purple?
Deep Purple and groups like that. And that's what I write right now because I'm for my project Rock X. It's more of a inspired by '70s bands, so it's the songs, and it's not just like verse chorus, but there's a lot of chord changes and solos in a different key in some part of the song. So I I try to replicate groups like that I loved in the '70s. Also the King Crimson, also the first King
Oh,
Crimson with what's the singer that passed away? Greg Lake.
Greg Lake, yeah.
So I love these albums. So I take a lot of inspiration with this right now, in my life.
So that sounds amazing. I mean, all those bands you said are amazing. Your '80s sound did have a smidge of Moody Blues feel to it potentially, but those other bands are way different than what you're performing. So with Rock X, have you recorded any albums or singles for the Rock X material?
Yes, I'm recording right now as we speak. We're in the studio doing that, so it should be released maybe in 6 months. I don't know which label is going to want to release that, but we're in the process.
And is the album going to be all new material, or is it going to be a mixture of new material and covers?
Yeah, I do a lot of covers from bands I like. I do a cover of U2. It's a Beautiful Day,
Oh,
and I do a cover of Paradise by Coldplay.
Oh, that's quite the variety there.
Yeah, because Coldplay, and it sounds exactly like my voice. I didn't even have to change the key. It's perfect. Yes. And my wife, she sings Pat Benatar and a few other songs like that. So, and we play and some originals.
That
So,
sounds awesome. My wife loves Pat Benatar, probably her favorite female singer. So,
oh yeah,
um, hopefully sometime we can come to Mexico and find when you're playing and see one of these shows. They sound pretty awesome.
yeah, yes. And when I play guitar, I play mostly chords, finger picking, and my wife, she plays the lead guitar.
That's awesome to be able to have a couple that you both have a passion for in the same thing. My wife and I are both teachers, so we get to talk about, that kind of stuff. But to have musicians that can, because did she help? Do you guys write together as well?
Yeah, but I do most of the writing, but she's more of a player, but she writes some stuff also. Yes.
It's awesome. So I only have 5 minutes left on my screen. I see here. Is there anything you like to share with your fans about the past, the present, the future?
Uh, well, they can find me with Facebook, the Trans X hi-NRG HINRG. So that's because that's where I go for on the Facebook and whatever all the other social media.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. I learned a lot, and I really look forward to hearing your rock acts because that, like I said, I love your voice and what I've heard, and to hear it in a rock style intrigues me greatly.
Yeah, but I sing now. I sing, after 40 years, I sing 10 times better than I did back in the days. So actually, in the studio, I go there. I do one take, a second take because we like to put three vocals, one at the front, and left, right. We put some doubling. So I just do like 5 takes, and that's it. Because no, I guess I'm not so self-conscious anymore about my voice and all that. So it comes out more natural.
I
I
can
guess
understand that.
I guess it's called experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you first came out, you kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, to people who heard you, right? You've been in the music industry a few years, it sounds like. But so you were pretty how like you were pretty young when the first album came out, like when Living on Video first came out.
Yeah, yes, that's true. So I was inexperienced, so I had to learn rock and roll by doing it. It was the first pop songs I ever wrote was Living on Video.
Well, the first one you ever wrote, and
Yes,
it's still the biggest hit of your time. That's a
I know.
rarity.
I know, I know.
I was talking to somebody earlier, I can't remember who it was, saying he refuses to share his first songs he wrote because they're just it's like, yeah, they're embarrassing. So, but one last question. So you talked about being with Ivan and then with Hats. He has a story about, Safety Dance was a bit, he came up at a club. That same time frame you were hanging with him when the idea of Safety Dance came out?
Yes, I think it was the same year. Yes, 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 absolutely. Or the same month, I think. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check that out. But I think I was in Ivan's house when he came back from the studio with the extended of Safety Dance. I was there. I was one of the first person to listen to it.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, because that's a great tune. And it's funny that you're good friends with Ivan because the other song that I've researched that's the biggest song in Canada is in Europe is Safety Dance.
Yes,
That's the other big hit. Safety Dance and Living on Video, the two biggest songs from 80 to 84
yes, yeah,
in the world from
yeah,
Canada.
yes.
And so I just want to say, like, thank you for the time. We appreciate the music you've done, and that song, and others are still living on on the radio and on video all these years later. So I think you were right. You were predicting the future.
Yes, I think I was part of predicting the future. That's right. Yes.
Well, have a great night.
All right, and
And
thank you for inviting me. It was quite an enjoyable interview, and I hope the people will learn some new things about my life. That's always interesting to learn something new, you know.
I learned a lot new, and I imagine everybody else will when it comes out, probably in a week or two. So thanks again. Have a great night, and looking forward to hearing more new music from you.
All right, thank you, and please send me the link when you have so I can repost it.
I will
Or
do that for sure. Thank you.
okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.